I need to see how Newsmax is taking this. I don't know that we went to a live cam of Greg Kelly on a bus just tearing the pages out of a phone book one at a time, saying he should get credit for tearing up a phone book. Do they still have phone books? Is that a Muscle Man thing? You guys remember that, right? Anyways, this is longtime Trump ally Steve Bannon has been indicted for contempt of Congress after refusing to comply with a subpoena for the House Select Committee. Oh, God, so good. Okay.
Breaking news to get to before.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was going to be Rob or something like that. And yeah, apparently it's Anchorman stuntable.
To break, the Justice Department announced just a minute ago that there's a federal grand jury.
Is it just me or does he sound like he's about to cry? It was just in breaking news. I don't know if you saw this.
Justice Department announced just a minute ago that there's a federal grand jury has indicted former Trump advisor Steve Bannon and charged him with contempt of Congress. This after Steve Bannon refused a subpoena from the White House committee investigating January 6th.
Come on, dude. Go full Rittenhouse. Go big or stay home.
And earlier today, we heard from that former chief of staff. Mark Meadows also did not appear after he was subpoenaed. We expect him to be charged as well. More.
Oh, yes. As do we. Excuse me 1 second. I should have put on pasties or something. This is this is getting so, oh, my goodness. And I have to say, I did chess today. So this is pleasurable.
All of that as information comes in. Okay. So we brought some breaking news to you earlier. Steve Bannon has been indicted by a federal grand jury, but also there's a warrant out for his arrest.
That I felt that one. Did you feel that? That felt good. Did you hear that? There's a what? Sorry.
Steve Bannon has been indicted by a federal grand jury, but also there's a warrant out for his arrest. And
so, can you say it slower next time? Maybe in French. Try a Gomez Adams kind of approach. I need to be alone.
And we wanted to bring in someone who has a good idea of what's going on here. Bridget.
Somebody who also will be indicted soon. Please welcome Matt Gaetz.
Gabriel. She's a chairman of actforamerica.org. Bridget.
Oh, good Lord. You can't spring that on me. That's a lot. That's a whole lot of time sharing going on. I feel like... Bow before us. We share one eye, but we see all. The uplighting's a good touch. Halloween's over. I'm just saying, if you tried the whole like Phil Collins, ow, nothing.
And this is breaking news as we speak, as we came to air. Drudge had his little one of those 4-alarm.
Yeah, Drudge had one of those things. Drudge told us. I couldn't check. I know it was on the other news things, but I couldn't bring myself to look.
Fire things circling. So what are your thoughts on the way the Justice Department is going after Bannon and the others in the Trump administration?
Well, it's obviously some shit. That uplighting is creeping me out. I can't even focus. Jesus Christ. Is she tanning while she's doing the show? Does she have one of those big reflector pans pointing up? Like I have these little lights over here, and you can see if I block them out right there. And then this guy over here. And that helps me cut out the green screen behind me by properly lighting the green, because I give a shit. But that's not what this is. There is a LED, she's in a casket. This LED light is, oh God.
Well, let's just say there is no justice anymore in the Justice Department.
Yeah, that's so what we're saying. There's no justice anymore in the Justice Department. We can't even say it, but we don't want to. Hey, there's no justice in the Justice Department. It's just us, not you. It's just us, not you.
Because right now the Justice Department has been weaponized against the Trump team and against conservatives, and they are going...
Well, then why do they need a grand jury? Nice makeup. Where's Duran? Oh, totally. Yeah, I did. Yeah. What's the Duran? Rio? Was that the Rio?
after witch hunts, trying to hunt down leaders who were involved with the
also witches.
People who are close within his inner circles, and they are targeting them.
Excuse me, there's only one inner circle. No, there's lots of inner circles. Actually, they're all outside circles. I don't know.
And this is why this whole charade, this whole window dressing is basically going after them to get them.
Well, it is, I have to tell you this, that, darling, I must say to you, if I may, speak for a moment and then remain silent so that I may hear your answers. So good. By the way, avoiding the puka shells, good idea. I do think it's sad that an entire coral reef had to die just so you could wear that necklace. I'm telling you. But if we ever fall through a time vortex and we are back in time and you need to buy something, welcome to wampum. She wears it around her neck or whatever. I think the turquoise look is a good look overall. Here we are. But you know, it's window dressing of a witch hunt because, again, it's post-Halloween. It's like when you're driving by those Halloween city places. Why are they not closed? It's almost Thanksgiving.
It'll be very interesting to see what's going to happen in this case and whether they arrest him or when they arrest him and how this is going to proceed. This is not right.
No, here's what's not right. That you had the giant bonnet all day. You had it all day. It's a fabulous hat. I'm not telling you any different. By the way, anyone with an accent speaks 2 languages, automatically smart, so don't even begin. But you had the flatness that's going on, darling, and someone should have given you a pic before you came on the air. And I know you're trying to distract us with the combo earring necklace setup that you got when you fell off a cruise ship and you stayed with those people for a week.
Something is so wrong in our government when our government agencies are weaponized against people simply because of their political belief. But that's the America we live in right now.
Yes, it's terrible that a grand jury, can go after someone for what they believe, even if they don't know what they believe.
It's unbelievable. I mean, to put out a warrant for Bannon's arrest, I mean, I know they asked him to come in, they subpoenaed him, and he said...
Yeah, how dare they put out, they asked him to come in, then they subpoenaed him, then they put a grand jury together. The grand jury heard the evidence for why he should be subpoenaed. They agreed, and now there's a subpoena for him and a warrant for his arrest. Gee, it's almost like we have a rule of law in this fucking country.
No, but these are the way things work. You can go through the legal channels. I mean, he's not accused of a crime at this point.
At this point, he's just been indicted, fucko. And by the way, he's a material witness. So that's I'm like, this isn't even... Do you watch... You don't even have to watch an entire episode of Law and Order to get this. You can just watch anything past the 3rd clung, and you'll know this shit.
I do believe. Am I getting this right?
No, you aren't. Seriously. Just fart in a bag, pop it, and say, that's my argument.
No, I don't believe he's accused of any crime. But look, he did not commit any crime.
How do you know? Are you... I'm sorry. Are you his alibi? Ugh.
I mean, what was his crime? Why are they going after him? Why are they arresting him? But I hope that Steve Bannon has top-notch attorneys right now who are fighting for him.
Yes, and expensive ones, I hope. I hope they're very expensive.
And again, the whole nation's going to be watching, or at least the conservatives are going to be.
Yeah, well, not all the conservatives. A lot of them are going to be like at football games and shit like that. But they'll get around to it. I mean, if we don't save Steve Bannon, who will be there to save us?
Watching how this case is going to transpire, because this is going to affect every American. Right now, the government is arresting people, throwing them in jail. They're not giving them attorneys. I mean, look at the January.
Everybody has attorneys. The fuck are you talking about? Oh, we're dovetailing into the January 6th rioters and the insurrectionists don't have attorneys. They all have attorneys. They all do. Oh, it was supposed to say ni hao, ni hao.
6 people.
They all have attorneys. Fuck you. Fuck you. Stop shitting on America and the American judicial system and the legal system. They all have attorneys. If they don't have attorneys, it's because they've fired their attorneys and they're getting their own attorneys, or they're representing themselves because they're sovereign citizen neo-QAnon lunatics.
A lot of people don't even know what's happening to them.
No, I don't know. I thought I did, but I don't know what's happening. I don't even know why I am standing in front of a French fry light.
They're not being heard. They're not. It's like people in Cuba, people in Gitmo has more rights than the January 6th.
Get fucked. People in Cuba and Gitmo have more rights. No, they do not. Fucking shame on you.
Prisoners. So this is going to be very interesting. Our government is like communist China right now.
Yes, tell you what, kiddo. Head over to communist China. Talk like this for 3 minutes. And we will all see you in 20 fucking years. I'm so aggravated. Like, I don't know why she's on. I don't know. She's illegal. I don't know what. All I know is there's a monitor in front of him, and I don't think he's looking at her face. I didn't freeze that on purpose, but Christ.
People are being arrested without a crime. People are being charged. People are being thrown in jail without rights to an attorney or an appeal or knowing what's.
Bullshit. They all have attorneys. Where the fuck? How do you even let her say that on this show? How do you even go like? How do you go? I mean, at one point, well, they all do have court-appointed attorneys, or they've gotten their own representation, or they're representing themselves because they fired those people. But they all have a right to an attorney. If I recall, every fucking cop show since 1968.
Happening with them, the Americans need to wake up and realize that they better get involved and get involved in grassroots, get involved locally with their elections, get involved with their elected officials, because
yes, have great sexy affairs with your elected officials. Get involved with them. Find out when their wife is away at work. Show up.
So we are at a time where we may be the people trying to protect themselves from a corrupt and a totalitarian government. We never thought that will happen in America, but it looks like this is the direction where our country is going.
Yes, because Steve Bannon was asked to come in nicely, told to come in, subpoenaed. When he didn't honor the subpoena, a grand jury was convened. They looked at the evidence as to why he should be called. They all agreed. And then a subpoena was put out and an arrest warrant for him. Dude had a 5-step legal process, and he's got legal representation. What the fuck? How do you think other countries run? Is she supposed to be like, I'm Cuban, so I know how Cuba was? Is that what she's talking about? Because if she is, she sure as shit doesn't know what the fuck's going on in Cuba right now.
It's unbelievable, Bridget Gabriel. It's just unbelievable.
Yes, it's not believable. What she's saying is not believable, Bridget Gabriel, and this is moronic.
Where American citizens are being held in solitary at some time.
Yeah, guess what? If you throw your shit at guards or spit on them and say, I have COVID, or refuse to get a test, or refuse to get vaccinated, or all of the above, you're going to end up in solitary. If you threaten other prisoners and they're worried for your safety, you're going to end up in solitary. The fuck are you talking about? You think these people, because they broke into the Capitol, beat up cops, shit on the floor of the Capitol and smeared it on the walls, were yelling, hang Mike Pence, the sitting vice president at that time, we're talking about on social media putting a bullet in Nancy Pelosi's fucking brain, that those folks should get special treatment now that they've been busted because they posted their crimes online over other people? I mean, sure, I broke a window in the nation's capital and was roaming around inside threatening to kill the vice president, but I shouldn't have to deal with the same shit that somebody that broke in a house and was screaming their ex-wife's name while carrying a gun should do. I mean, why?
23 out of 24 hours a day here in America, but...
Excuse me, it's 30 hours a day. Do your fucking math.
Terrorists can go to Gitmo and get soccer fields built for them and vending machines put up so they have a good and internet and make sure they're okay. They're terrorists. They're trying to kill us.
That's right.
But we have people who are not even convicted of anything, sitting behind bars and sometimes in the conditions that
yeah, those guys at Gitmo, I'm sure they would fucking trade being at Gitmo for being awaiting pre-trial in a jail cell. The fuck are you talking about?
Outline. Very quickly, final thought, Bridget.
Yeah, final thought. Something about, it's terrible. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised an asteroid meteor with Genghis Khan on it has not hit America right now. We are all, this is like Wolverines Gather Up or whatever that show was. We're all like the bad guy in war games at this point. Who can say?
Exactly. And not allowed medical treatment. I mean, look.
Bullshit.
Already had somebody that died. At least prisoners in Gitmo were allowed dental and.
Who the fuck died in? What the fuck are you talking about? Hold on. This will be so okay. Jan 6, rioter dies in jail. Nope. Capitol riot, St. Augustine man. Okay, here he is. This is the charged in Capitol riot. St. Augustine man dies awaiting trial. St. Augustine resident who died last week was indicted after the judge who was received medical treatment after an asthma attack. The image from the camera showed Anderson being led to help as part of. So, dude had an asthma attack, was being taken to help, and died. John Stephen Anderson's attorney told the judge in Washington about the death during a case status conference Friday. 61 died at September 21st at Baptist Medical Center South in Jacksonville. So, obviously, the site of where he was denied medical care. Obituary posted by St. John's Family Funeral Home and Crematory. The cause of death wasn't listed. Anderson started and ran a business. Obituary said he'd been raised in Michigan. Is he employed? Supported numerous conservative candidates, causes as well as religious. A visitor to the funeral home's website describes him as a complete stranger, praised him as a patriot and a man of conviction. If I show up at the service, it'll be honoring a man in his memory, not to make any sort of political statement. 8 people from North Florida brought to federal court in Jacksonville for initial hearings involving all their cases have been handled by judges in Washington, where Anderson was allowed to remain free pending trial on the condition that he not return to the city, except for court business related to his trial. Can they please make it a little more difficult? At all. He'd been indicted in March on charges. The maximum punishment could have total decades in prison. His attorney argued prosecutors greatly misstated the facts and told U.S. District Judge Rudolph Contreras in July that the video from the Capitol contradicts the public narrative the government has put forward. Let's see. Anderson asked the court to lift an order restricting circulation. The video is highly sensitive. Contreras last month granted the request. Yeah, he wasn't in fucking jail. He got medical help. These are EMTs. St. Augustine resident John Stephen Anderson, who died last week, was indicted after January 6th, where he received medical treatment He did not receive medical treatment unless he got medical treatment for an asthma attack at the Capitol. So he had an asthma attack on January 6th. Then he got charged with the shit he did on that day. And then he was released on free on his own recognizance until his trial, and he died at the hospital. What?
And eye exams, they had their teeth fixed while they couldn't even fix them in Afghanistan. And
what? Who? Huh?
Eye exams, they had their teeth fixed while they couldn't even fix them in Afghanistan and in the areas where we arrested them. It is a shameful day in our country. And again, I encourage the grassroots time to wake up and become engaged. Go to Act for America. Folks.
Help us to make some money off this. We don't represent any of these people, of course. But we're glad to be here. Cha-ching. Throw some money our way. These puka shells are not free, okay? These were $9 at the gift stand when I was in the Caribbean, and we were like, who gives a shit? Why don't we all go on a cruise? What COVID? It's a witch hunt.
Get involved.
Exactly. Get involved. Bridget Gabriel, thank you so much for your time.
That was who they brought on, by the way, to defend Steve Bannon.